Hey, hello again. Mike O'Brien, your Getaway guy. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Today, Chapels of the Finger Lakes, historic and absolutely beautiful, and you can tour them. I begin right now in Auburn, New York at Willard Memorial Chapel.
Yes, welcome to the Tiffany treasure of the Finger Lakes, because the interior here was designed entirely by the Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company of New York City back in 1892. What a treasure. The architect, by the way, of the chapel itself, A.J. Warner from Rochester. A little history there. But I'll tell you what, you walk into this chapel, you won't believe the beauty. This thing is old and it's incredible because, again, all designed by Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company, from the chandeliers to the stained glass windows. And they're absolutely beautiful, especially on a day when the sun is shining. I mean, they're everywhere, and it's just magnificent. Even the mosaic flooring, it's all made of marble and mosaics, and it's all individually done. It's just incredible, and you can see that. I'm going to show you a little bit of a closer look at that. But every one of those, and we're talking long ago, were individually laid. This place is amazing. Glass and marble mosaic tiles in the floor, just part of the beauty here. The Tiffany treasure of the Finger Lakes, Willard Memorial Chapel. Now, they have this amazing pipe organ in the chapel itself. And what a lot of people don't know is that there's access to it. When you're on a tour, you can ask about the little door. And I decided to just open her up because behind the little door are the workings of the pipe organ. This is where they go to fix, and mechanics take their time inside, but it's a little spot that no one knows about. You do now. You can see all the workings behind the pipe organ at Willard Memorial Chapel. This is quite the place. It really is, in Auburn, New York, Nelson Street. What a surprise to many, many people. It's just something else when you walk inside.
I think people here might know it's all Tiffany, but people from a distance who've just read about it or heard about it are really surprised that it's more than just the windows.
Willard Memorial Chapel is handicapped accessible, and you can go to their website, willard/chapel.com. Open Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tours starting on the hour. No reservations required, but it's quite the tour. Now, here's the admission prices: $10 for adults, $8 for seniors and students. Ages 12 and under are free. They also do self-guided tours for $5. But here's what you can do for the $5 self-guided tour. See if there is someone else around that maybe can walk in with you. Now, that was Jean on camera. What a help. What a wealth of knowledge. And she took me through the place and just kind of told me everything that I wanted to know about it. But it's very affordable. It's a treasure of the Finger Lakes, and it's all done by Tiffany, the glass, the windows, the floors, the chandelier, everything. And the history is just remarkable. Willard Memorial Chapel, one of my favorite chapels of the Finger Lakes. And again, their website is willard/chapel.com. Check it out. Again, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, that's the availability of that. So if you have a day off. By the way, if you're still in Auburn, not only can you go to Willard Memorial Chapel, you certainly can go to the Seward House or the Harriet Tubman Home, a couple of other historical destinations while in Auburn, New York, one of my favorite towns for a day trip getaway. I have another chapel of the Finger Lakes. You are going to love this one. It's coming up in just a second. But first, I want to say thanks to Paris Heating and Cooling. Here comes summer. I know it's hard to believe, but the weather lately has been so nice and warm. All I can think about is making sure that AC system is up to par. These guys are professional, knowledgeable, and very fair. Paris Heating and Cooling, furnace, AC, humidifier, whatever you need, these are the people to go to. ParisHeatCool.com. Give them a call, 227-4512. I've been with them for years. Good people. Hey, speaking of good, how about a good breakfast? Billy's Homestead is a part of our show. Yep, for breakfast in Webster, go to Billy's Homestead. They're a hidden gem on Empire Boulevard in Webster for a great breakfast or lunch. And Friday night dinners, they have a fish fry to die for. Comfortable booths and tables and the nicest coolest staff you'll ever meet. Billy's Homestead, Webster, they have early bird specials from 6:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can save some bucks. And boy, do they have Eggs Benedict. They have awards for it. It's in the Sunrise Plaza right across from Delta Sonic. Billy's Homestead. Breakfast, lunch, or Friday night dinners, you can't go wrong with Billy's.
Chapels of the Finger Lakes continues. I'm off to Cuca Lake and Bluff Point.
So I jumped in the car. It's about 12 miles from Penn Yan at the end of Bluff Point. So out of Palmyra, take Route 54A towards Branchport. It's a beautiful ride. Turn left on Assembly Road, then right onto Skyline Drive. And at the very end, where it starts to descend, you'll discover this amazing Chapel of the Finger Lakes. Another one of my favorites. This is Garrett Chapel. It's called the Little Chapel on the Mount. Built in 1929, Paul and Evelyn Garrett built this in memory of their son Charles, who died in 1929. But this is an amazing place to visit. It's one of my favorite chapels of the Finger Lakes. They hold services in the summer, and also the grounds in the chapel are open Tuesdays and Thursdays, beginning in July from 1 to 4 p.m. So plan this one coming up for summertime. Grounds are just absolutely beautiful, and the interior of the chapel, as you can see, is just amazing. Again, services, they do weddings, and you can tour Tuesdays, Thursdays in summer from 1 to 4 p.m. And you can visit the chapel now, but the chapel won't be open. But the grounds, you can certainly get through there. Their website is garrettchapel.org. I suggest you go to it. They'll be updating that website very soon. And you'll be able to have more information for the upcoming summer season. Garrett Chapel, one of my favorites. Bluff Point, by the way, they were one of the biggest producers of grapes way long ago. And that's where that all kind of began in the Finger Lakes. So they have a lot of history, and Garrett Chapel is certainly an amazing chapel of the Finger Lakes. I think you're going to really enjoy that very, very much. Boy, thank you very much for coming along for the ride for the chapels. As we get home after a long getaway, you might want to treat yourself to dinner, and Nino's will cook you up a great dinner if you're liking pizza. I found Nino's years ago. They make amazing Sicilian-style pizza with fresh ingredients, old-school pizza in an old pizza shop, kind of a hole-in-the-wall at 1330 Culver Road near Merchants. They deliver Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Nino's. Thick Sicilian pizza, it just doesn't get any better. Sicilian pizza from Nino's. 1330 Culver. Tell them the Getaway guys sent you. I'll be there again soon, no doubt about it. Hey, we do a question of the day every time we do a show. Sometimes we'll get questions, sometimes we'll get suggestions, but they're all travel related. This one comes in from Tammy from West Seneca near Buffalo. And Tammy writes, "Dear Getaway guy, are there any good maple syrup getaways that you can recommend?" You better believe it. Here's the deal, Tammy. Coming up very soon is Maple Weekend, and it always happens for 2 weekends in a row in March. This year, Maple Weekend is March 16th and 17th, and then the following weekend, March 23 and 24. What happens is all these sugar shacks and maple syrup producers open up their operations for free samples and demonstrations on the making of maple syrup, the evaporators. I mean, it's just incredible, the process. This is the beauty of New York State. When our maple trees start to produce the sap, that sap goes right to the evaporator, and then the magic happens. I call it liquid gold maple syrup. So these are all great getaways during Maple Weekends, 2 of them coming up in the month of March. And again, go to their website, which is mapleweekend.com. Pretty easy to remember. You'll see all the locations and the details on what each location is going to be doing for Maple Weekend here in New York State. And I'll tell you, maple syrup is just wonderful. It's not cheap, though, but, you know, it lasts forever. I still have in my refrigerator, I think, like a half-gallon container of maple syrup I bought a couple of years ago. It's still plenty in there. And I could go home and chug it right now, but I probably don't want to do that. If you have a question or a travel suggestion, just email me at MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Hey, if you're in downtown Rochester, you're looking for a good breakfast or a lunch, I suggest Jim's on Main. Yes, Jim's. They've been there for a long time, 785 East Main Street, breakfast and lunch. Then they have Jim's at the mall, at the Grease Ridge Mall, breakfast, lunch, dinner. They're good breakfast. It's cheap. I highly recommend the Late Riser. Coffee refills, your cup will never go empty at Jim's. If you want a good breakfast, Jim's on Main is the place to go. Cash only. They do have an ATM machine. They're open every day. Jim's for breakfast. Why not? Hey, travel books. I've got Volume 2, and I'm doing a special through winter. Volume 2, only $10 instead of $15. Let me know what you need. I'll give you all the particulars. Just email me at MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. I want to thank Alan from West Seneca. He ordered books a couple of weeks ago. MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. Only $10 for this time. And I'll even sign it to whoever you want to give it to, maybe to yourself. Paris Heating and Cooling, thank you for being a part of our show. They make it possible for us to do this every couple of weeks, and we thank them. They're family owned and operated for 35 years. I've been using their services for 15 years, and I wouldn't go with anybody else. Reliable, professional service, your AC system, your heating system, whatever it may be, they'll take good care of you. Paris Heating and Cooling, give them a call, 227-4512. Well, that's our show. Thank you to Paris Heating and Cooling. Thanks to Nino's. Thanks to Billy's Homestead in Webster, our new sponsor, and Jim's on Main, along with Joe here at Classy Wolf Media. And thank you for coming along for the ride. That's our show. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you like us. And we'll have another show coming up in just a couple of weeks. Until then, Mike O'Brien, your Getaway Guy.